Alright, finally got my GoPro working. So here's what we got on the Jeep. Recorded a whole bunch of other videos on my cell phone, so hopefully that's gonna go. Yeah, I know it's a bright and sunny day. Yeah, that's a little better. So there's the Jeep, there's the background. The silver car is gonna be gone because it lost its brakes and its frame. The Audi is still around. Behind the silver car is my brand new SHO Taurus, and that thing screams, but we'll talk about that later. Right now I've been working with the Jeep, so here's what we got. I just finished painting the whole underside of this. I bet you can see it. It's bright and sunny. So that part right here, that's where I just completely rebuilt it and just finished the second coat of black Rust-Oleum paint, and actually works pretty well. Like I said, here's the frame. I did that 3 years ago, and I haven't really touched it, and it's been rock solid for 3 years. And it's, you know, 3 New England bad winters, so decided to use it for this. So that's the inside. Completely rebuilt that part, and this thing wasn't even here. It was completely gone. There was no rust, no rot. I had no seatbelt attachment point, nothing. So that's finally done. And of course, here is the floor pan, which I just did. It's all got a first coat of paint. I put 2 coats of primer on it, and of course around all the rest of it I put rust converter, and now I'm going to paint it. This will be the second coat, and tomorrow I should be able to put the interior back in it, the seat belt, and I'm going to leave the console off, and I'm going to leave the carpet out for now until 1, it cures, and 2, I fix the other holes that are leaking water in. The windshield is, well, rotted out from the inside, and there's a piece on the cowl that's no good, but I'll be posting videos on that later. But in the meantime, I got that, and I have, you know, this part of it. And like I said yesterday, remember to measure once or measure twice and cut once, because, well, the big hole, that's, well, not, first of all, it's too big, and second of all, it's not in the right spot. And the second hole is in the right spot, and it's in and it's the right size. And so that's what we got for there. Now I've been using 16 gauge sheet metal for underneath, 18 gauge sheet metal for pretty much the rest of it, except for this panel right here. This was part of a whole replacement panel I got from QuarterTech, and that's 20 gauge. So I'm making this thing stronger than it was, and hopefully it'll last longer than thing has lasted. One word of note, whoever did the body work on this before, I don't know if you can see it, there's got to be a 1/4 of an inch of Bondo right there, and it looks like they mudded the entire side of this thing. So I'll be doing all kinds of body work, Bondo and stuff there. Now understand, I'm a total amateur at all of this, so no laughing at my welding, no laughing at, well, you can laugh, but no laughing at welding, no laughing at my body and amateur and all that other, because I'm total amateur at this. Just kind of enjoy doing it. So anyways, that's where we're at, and well, let me go paint, and well, I'll just put it down here and see if I can get this part is next. Come on, sit up. Okay, works for me. And we'll bring the paint can in, paintbrush. And like I said, this is what I'm using. I don't endorse it. Nobody's endorsing me on this. Well, I do endorse it, but nobody's endorsing me on it. I just happen to like it. I've used it before for other things, and it works, well, it works very well, to be honest with you. Alright, so let me bore you with the details. A little bit of history on this Jeep. I bought it, I don't know, know, 3.5 years ago. It'll be 4 years in October. And when it was sold to me, it was sold that it was in very good condition. The previous owner had bought it from his girlfriend, his daughter's boyfriend, somebody. He got it from his dad. And so, I mean, needless to say, I'm at least the fourth owner of it. And going through this, it looks like somebody did some significant work on it at some point. Going through the paperwork, there is receipts for a rebuilt or remanufactured engine. So the 4-liter straight 6 that's in this is not the original one. Not that it matters. The thing's got 41,000 miles on it. 135,000 miles on it right now. I got it with, I think, 130. I haven't really driven it a lot. So I was taking it on my vacation this time last year on the highway on my way down to Cape Cod, and I was getting ready to get off the exit in Marshfield, which is where we were vacationing, and just before the exit, lost power. The engine was fine, and it just it couldn't move. So I pulled over on the highway. First gear, second gear, third. Nothing. None of they all engaged, but not a single one of them worked. I was stuck. So I figured, let's throw it in 4-wheel drive and see if the front wheels would work, which worked. Got us to our destination, which was about 6 miles from where we were. So once we got it there, called the tow truck the next day. The guy towed it away because I was like totally disappointed. We were at the beach. I was going to, be driving around the whole week with the top down, which we could have done because the weather was just phenomenal that week. So I got it back up to my friend up here at the Amoco station, Amoco transmission shop, and he put it up and gave me the bad news. I had completely launched the entire rear end. The spider gears imploded, blew up, broke, whatever you want to call it, and took everything with it. So needless to say, I had him replace the rear end, or rebuild the rear end, not replace it, because it would have cost me more to replace it than to rebuild it. Go figure that one out. So I now have, from stud to stud, a completely rebuilt rear end. He used heavy duty everything, so it was better than the factory. And yeah, it's the Dana 35. And it's like, I don't use it for heavy off-road use, and I certainly don't need anything stronger than what's there. The original one lasted for 26 years. So now I have a completely new rebuilt rear end in the back for this. And after I'm done with this, and the painting and all this stuff is done for the body, it's going to go back there because the gearbox is all messed up. Third gear grinds going in. It grinds, going in, coming from second, and going down from fourth. And fifth gear doesn't want to work anymore. It engages, but there's nothing there. There's no power on it. So it's going to go back into the shop as soon as I'm done with this. And like I said, the interior goes back in, and we go from there. So I'm going to get to this part. And in the meantime, before I get to that part, it's I got to get underneath the door. Part under the door. So this has been a lot of fun. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a welder by trade. I'm actually an electrical engineer by trade. So, being the engineering mind that I am, I do like the, physical work, and I really wanted to learn how to weld. So I bought myself a cheap Harbor Freight welder a few years ago for a project that I was working on at the time. Was an old Chevy van, which I still have, by the way, and it had a lot of typical Chevy van rust on it. All the rockers were all gone and stuff. So I decided to teach myself how to weld with it. And well, from the beginning, you can tell where I started. You can tell where I really learned. And so you can tell what side I learned and started on. And well, you know, like anything else, it continually gets better and better until, you know, I'm pretty much where I am today, which is still nowhere near close to a professional welder. But you know what? It's better than it was. And everything's, you know, solid. This floor is like solid. It's not going anywhere. And this was the last part of it that I welded up. So, needless to say, you know, I wanted to learn how to weld for a long, long time. I've always been a car guy. So, I learned how to weld. And, you know, this I thought it was going to get a decent thing that I can play around with for a while. I played around for 3 years before I actually had to do work to it, but that's alright. The spot that I rebuilt that it didn't have, I literally had nothing. I'll show you the pictures in one of these videos. I'll take a bunch of pictures, still shots of it. And you know, last summer I wanted to do a little bit of quote-unquote minor rust repair. It was showing through, and the surface rust was showing through the vinyl, or you know, the plastic fender flares. So with that, I pulled the flares off, and you know, lo and behold, there's like nothing in that corner. So I kind of ran out of time last year to do it, so this is the first job this year to do it, even though it's now July. Weather wasn't all that great around here in New England. So I've been doing this weekends, because yes, even during this pandemic thing, I'm still working full time. I'm not an essential worker. However, you know, I do work for a big communication company, so everyone and his brother needs to have their internet. So we're you know, listed as somewhat essential. So I'm still working. I can work at home. So that's what I'm doing. And on the weekends, this is what I'm doing. You know, it keeps me busy, keeps my mind on other things, other than this, you know, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. So that's what we got. This is going to be about it for me. I think I only got about 5 minutes left in this SD card is toast. It's completely filled up, so yeah, I got 12 minutes left. But anyways, I'm done with the paint. That's it. So 2 coats done, and the inside completely. Underneath the rear wheel well, there is 2 coats on the stuff I did, 1 coat on everything else, because, well, I mean, let's face it, you didn't really need to have 2 coats there. And now I gotta let it dry for a day, and hopefully tomorrow I can put the seat back in it, put the seat belt back on, and call it a day. So I think I missed a spot here. Yeah, I did. So sorry about that. No, I didn't. But that's alright. There is a panel that previous owner covered up a hole in the back. It's on both sides. It's this there. See? Yeah, it's this piece right here. And by the way the hole looks, it looks like somebody cut a hole into the tub to put 6x9 speakers in. Now, why would you do that? I don't know. Somebody made a box that you could put 6x9 speakers in. And so what the previous owner did was he just found a piece of sheet metal, or it is steel, and pop riveted it in. I had thought I was going to, you know, take the piece of steel out and weld the hole back in it, figuring that, you know, that would be a project to do, but you know, this is just taking way too long for me to do. I mean, I've been doing this since before Memorial Day weekend, and this is the middle of July essentially. So I'm honestly getting a little tired of doing this, but I'm glad it's almost done. But the job for filling these holes in was good enough as far as I'm concerned. I just seam sealed around the hole on the outside, and then just painted the whole thing, so it's not like it's going to be going anywhere anytime soon anyways. So that's it for now. I'm done. I got some other work to do, but I'm out of battery and I'm out of space, so I'm going to call it for the moment, and I'll show you what I did at well, when the battery is charged up and I get a new SD card. Thanks for watching. Bye.